All right, so I'm here for Dusty.S's ongoing coverage of DreamHack Dallas, and I found someone from the NA community out here. Who are you, sir?
ParksCasts.
ParksCasts. So what do you do? What do you do for the NA scene? How do you? What's the score?
I cast under LCA Broadcasting, so a lot of advanced and main casting. I also spent a lot of time casting the Impact scene. So season 3, we did a bunch of community casts with a few of the other casters in the area.
So can you tell us, for those who don't know, what is LCA Broadcasting?
So LCA Broadcasting is a broadcasting organization based in NA, a little bit in EU as well. But teams come to us and they want their games casted, and we help them out with that. So a lot of good teams that just don't otherwise have the ability to get their name out there or their brand out there, we give them a lot of that, and the players as well.
So I got to ask you, for my sake, what's the structure of LCA like? Like, are you one of the people who runs it, or who's in charge of this whole overarching operation at LCA?
Yeah, so that's Big and Tall Matt. He's the big head honcho. A bunch of us there, though, work out and help with kind of everything. Everybody wears multiple hats because that's kind of what you need when you're a smaller organization.
And how many people, so it's you, it's Big and Tall Matt. Who else do we have on the LCA broadcast team for the NA, caster group?
I would say it's a bit of a murderer's row in terms of all the cool people out there. You got Vincent Cass, you got Why Not, All In Gaming, a whole bunch of people that are just kind of starting to crack into ECL casting or spend a lot of time in the advanced area. And yeah, it's across everything, so.
And so, for those who don't necessarily understand, why is it important that we broadcast advanced and main? For most people, they only really spend, they may watch some ECL, but they'll only watch pro. Why do you think it's important that we, cast these lower level events?
I mean, it's one of the things of next generation players coming up. You want to get some kind of viewership on them, get some kind of idea of what you're seeing. A lot of times it's easier for up and coming players to get noticed because of the clips and stuff that we pump out, and they get noticed more often. A lot of players then are able to get pushed up into ECL teams that deserve it, and storylines as well, because you get a lot of rivalries from some of the players that go back seasons and seasons because they played each other in advanced, and we get to see that kind of growth throughout it all.
Yeah, definitely. So you're here you're here to support Impact. You're here to support the new flag Quest Red in the Impact finals. I wanted to ask you. We see NA struggle so much to find orgs. Why do you, especially in the, because you do a bit of casting of the Impact scene as well. So why do you think NA Impact teams struggle so much to get signed and build sustainability that way?
I think a little bit of it is the consistency of rosters. The reason FlyQuest were so easily able to find a team is because they've been around for a while and they've shown that they're happy to stick together. There's a lot of rosters that tend to have a lot of changes after events, or they lack, when they go to those events, they can't really show up in any way, and that causes the teams to die or require changes. We've never really had a team like RGB, if that makes sense, where they've stuck around for years even though they haven't really had much success. So I think once we see a lot more of those, orgs will be more interested in coming in and showing, they're interested in being there because the teams are interested in staying there.
And last question for you. So, a big part of the initiative, the GG for All initiative, and all this Impact stuff they're doing is to, create women's players who can eventually, compete at the real level. We're still a long way from that, but do you think, because you've been casting women's CS for a couple of years, right? And so with that, do you think we're progressing in the right direction, or do you think we're progressing in the right direction? And how long do you think it's going to be before we have someone who can be at that level?
I already see a lot of players that can play in advanced. I think it's going to take a little bit longer. Again, it comes down to roster stability. A lot of those players, they need that rock that they can then start to get a lot of personal growth coming through. But I think it's a little bit closer than we think.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Let's get back to the action. Good. It